Independence Day, observed annually on 15th August, is a national holiday in India commemorating the nation's independence from Kingdom of Great Britain, commonly known as United Kingdom, on 15th August 1947. India attained independence following an independence movement noted for largely non-violent resistance and civil disobedience led by the Indian National Congress. Independence coincided with the partition of India, in which the British Indian Empire was divided along religious lines into the dominions of India and Pakistan. The partition was accompanied by violent riots and mass casualties and the displacement of nearly 15 million people due to sectarian violence. On the occasion of our 67th year of independence, let's take a look at India's top 5 achievements since independence. The most important achievement of India since independence is maintaining its unity and integrity. India has survived its modern map despite diverse challenges, despite an over a quarter-century-long proxy war from across the borders and stiff terrorism-related challenges on domestic and foreign fronts. India has remained an island of democracy amid a vast ocean of autocratic rules in the neighborhood. Right from the days of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, when the two topmost Indian leaders often differed drastically from each other on core issues, to the contemporary times of Anna Hazare, India has continued on the democratic path. Few other countries in the world would have taken up such programs and implemented these with such gusto as India has. The list is long, but on top of the chart would be the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, Right to Information, Right to Education, and the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. This would inevitably pave the way for many other rights that are enshrined in the Indian Constitution but have not yet been delivered. India's modest efforts to conquer the space that began in 1975 with the successful launch of its first satellite, Aryabhatta, in 1975, has now come of age. Today, India is among the few selected space powers in the world to launch foreign satellites. India has space agreements with over 20 countries. It is no mean achievement for a country that was finding it difficult to feed its own people till it successfully embarked on a green revolution nearly half a century ago, is now aiming literally for the stars. No other programs have beefed up India's defense and forced the world to acknowledge India's strides in the field of defense and science and technology as these do. India's prowess in the field of missile technology is a strong deterrent for the enemies. The nuclear program and the missile program form an integral part of this. India has been running the two programs simultaneously and successfully. Don't be too proud yet. We must take a look at both the sides of a coin. So let's take a look at the top 5 burning issues in India. India holds the distinction of having the most number of poor people in the world. About 22% of the population in India falls below the poverty line, and 53.7% are poor. Around 18 million people are added to the population every year. However, not that many people are lifted out of poverty every year. Population is clearly a factor contributing to and sustaining high levels of poverty. Societies cannot progress if certain sections of people are left out simply because they happen to be from the wrong class, caste, ethnic group, race or sex. They have historically lived isolated in the periphery of villages and townships and subsisted doing only those tasks considered unfit for the other castes. Their untouchability can be considered the worst form of rejection by the mainstream society. Indian social fabric is highly patriarchal, which has left women significantly exploited and discriminated. The gender inequality is especially tragic not only because it excludes women from participation in democratic and social processes, but also because it gravely imperils the life prospects of future generations. The extent of gender discrimination can be measured through the Gender Inequality Index, which captures the loss in a country's progress due to gender inequality in three dimensions: reproductive health, empowerment, and labor market participation. India is ranked at 132 among 148 countries. Corruption and leakages in government schemes are widespread in India. This is a common way for the people with connections to the politicians and government bodies to acquire wealth, of course at the cost of the poor, who generally have no voice or ability to assert. Late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi had famously admitted that only about 15% of the money actually reaches the ultimate beneficiaries. Rape in India is the fourth most common crime against women in India. The law states marital rape is not a criminal offence in India unless the victim is separated from the partner legally. In 98% of the cases, the rapist is either a relative or someone who is known to the victim. Now that we have an idea of both the sides of the coin, I'd like to leave you with just one question. Should we be proud of our 67 years of independence, or should we be ashamed of 67 years of demeaning women in every way we can, demeaning the so-called wrong class on the basis of caste, ethnic group, creed or color, and not to forget how casually we encourage corruption?